Awkward, you said, huh?
What's up? I guess we're
Welcome back to the Naked Zebras.
we're the Naked Zebras, everybody. This is episode 2, by the way.
Episode 2 of the Naked Zebra Show, starring.
Um, my name's Nick.
I'm Corey.
I
Sea Dog.
I do want to have a little disclaimer. First off, this episode's not about Call of Duty.
No, whatever
Second,
we want.
I'm going to talk about Call of Duty for a second. We came in second and third place, and last week we released a whole entire video about why they got rid of duos and how it sucked, and they put duos back this week.
They did. They really did. We bitched and bitched. And this is the 2 days after we bitched and put it to the internet, to the world. There it was. So, how much you want to bet they take it away next week, though? You
Oh,
know
they're
they're
going to
going
take it
to.
away. They don't give a
And
shit. Like, anybody even watch
yeah,
that?
yeah. There's gonna be fucking Vondel duos. It's gonna be massive resurgence, unhinged battle royale or some shit. Like, you know what I
No.
mean? How they add
Massive
the
resurgence, unhinged, armored battle royale.
plunder
Mixed with plunder.
duos, and that's what we're gonna be left with, and that's why we get pissed at the fucking game, because every other week it's some bullshit, and it's gonna be a month before we can just hop into some Almaz or duos again. But
All
it
right.
was nice to be on Al Mazrah. I will say that. My little 2 cents speaking on that. I do really like that map. That map as a map is just, I like it. It's fun to play in.
All right. Let's not go too hard into the Call of Duty. We spent a whole hour last week about it.
That's fair.
All right. I do want to bring something up, and this is. I just witnessed this too, everybody. This motherfucker over here has never heard music through clear sounding studio headphones until today.
It was quite amazing.
It was like watching like a 6-year-old child eat a Tootsie Roll for the first time. It was
Falling in love with their new favorite candy.
I couldn't even believe it. It was quite
It's
funny.
interesting. I always use like gaming headphones, things like that. So actually having a dedicated like what audio headphones you would say, that was new essentially.
You're gonna
I
hear so
mean,
many different sounds you've never heard before in your life.
I can't wait. It's gonna be kind of cool. Gonna be quite cool. I kind of wish this in a way had a speaker on it though, so like I could use them for. Would these work if I just plugged them into my like controller, my PlayStation controller?
Probably,
That's what I'm saying.
probably, yeah. If you unscrew that thing I showed you,
Yeah.
yeah, probably,
And
most
just plug that
likely.
into the controller and use them as a headset. I could probably just use it as a headset. The only thing is, like I said, it doesn't have a mic, so wouldn't be able to necessarily talk, to anyone. But when I'm gaming myself or something, that'd be cool because I play good games with good music, things like that. So
I feel it. I feel it. I feel it.
definitely like me some video game music. So being able to hear that would be quite nice.
Um, I'm gonna go through a little like rapid fire here. Apparently, COVID's rising again, so everybody be aware of that. We're probably gonna be wearing masks soon.
No,
Little bit of how I feel. A little bit. If you own a Nintendo Switch, there's this game that came out for free. It's called F-Zero 99. Pretty fun. You should check it out. It's chaos. Also, you should check out Sea of Stars. You remember that song I showed you last week? That rich man, North rich man.
oh yeah, that like
67 million views in a month. Listen to this. So this guy gets super famous, right? He's getting ready to have a concert. He cancels his concert because his tickets cost $90. He says that nobody that's going to his concert should pay more than $40 a ticket, and they should be $25.
I mean, I
Listen, I hate to sound like a fucking bad person, but if I was Oliver Anthony and I made a song that got 67 million views in a month, man, I think my tickets would be 140.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you. That's kind of what I was thinking. I respect the I don't
The
know if
hard
it's an
working blue
integrity thing that
collar.
kind of like going for and whatnot, but the bigger issue is just the economics, the economy and whatnot. The fact that things can be charged that much and whatnot. Like the standard ticket for anything is not $25. You couldn't go, unless you're going to your local fucking dive bar and some band that's been playing out of their garage for the past 5 years
Well,
and
that's
they've
what
known
I'm.
each other since high school start playing. You know what I mean? There's like a cover charge to a bar. But any venue that's gonna host like an actual concert or performance, I mean, maybe $50 on the cheaper end of like a lawn type seat of a venue or, outer edge, but these venues and stuff, it's just the economy. It's not they can't it's not well, obviously it's not profitable. Everything is going to come down to profit. I can respect this musician guy not caring about the profit and wanting to be cheap and accessible for everyone, but if you're going to host it at a venue, I mean, it's the price, you know? Like I that's
And
just
the
what
venue
it's
has
going
to
to
make money
cost.
too. I mean, people got to pick up the trash and everything. I mean, have you ever been
That's
to
what
seen what a
trash,
concert looks
sell
like when
things.
everybody
Yeah.
leaves? It
Exactly.
doesn't
Like they
look
have
too great.
staff. That's what I'm saying. Like it's the economics of it, and obviously the venue is going to want to profit off of that too. They're not just there to just break even. So hey, if he wants to do that, you know what he should do? You go to the nearest like big public park, get a permit to host obviously like a not a protest permit,
Or
but
his
get a
backyard.
permit yeah, and host something and say I don't I guess you would probably if it's if he's getting you're talking thousands of people possibly maybe there could be like a safety concern and you would have to like get security and things like that I guess but no you're not going to go to your local you're not going to go to the fucking garden or Madison Square Garden and be like hey I want to host a concert here and I'm only going
I
to
don't.
charge them
I
this
don't even think
amount
he could
like
get into the Madison Square Garden. He's only got 2 songs that I know of.
Yeah, but
I'm glad you feel the
anywhere,
same
you get
way
what I'm
as me
saying,
on
like the
that
queue or something
because
like that. Like it's just
if I would be trying to get all the money in the world. And
well, of
if you
course.
look at like Taylor Swift and Beyonce this year, I mean, they helped the economy out, and their tickets were fucking
They did.
in the
Did
hundreds,
you
man,
did you
two
did
hundreds,
you
three
see
hundreds.
I saw this about the Taylor Swift concert in particular that any city that which she canceled a concert or something like that, their economies were literally were hurt by it.
Oh, I
Like
believe it.
by substantial amount. Like that's how much revenue and things and just it brings the economy to life having her, people going to the bars, going to the restaurants around town,
Speaking
stopping and traveling and whatnot. Like when she does it, their economies drop by like a huge percentage for a little while.
speaking of Taylor Swift, I didn't get to see that concert because I don't fucking. I'm not gonna wait in a Ticketmaster lobby for that. If I had free tickets, I sure as hell would have went. All
Sure,
right,
I would agree.
I will say she's releasing that concert movie in October. And I low key kind of want to go see it, but like I know like I'm gonna look like the weirdest fucking man in that theater.
Which would be worse, going to see that as a man by yourself or going and see Barbie by yourself?
Honestly, Barbie.
You think Barbie's
I
worse?
could get over the fucking Taylor Swift thing, man. As long as I'm
Same.
not sitting by kids, dude, I could sneak a couple fucking little fireball shots in there. Maybe like a tall boy and nobody see. I could have a
Yeah,
good
sure,
time
sure,
there, to
sure,
be honest.
sure.
Barbie, I don't know, man. If I was to go see Barbie by myself, I would probably try to get like a matinee. That way I know nobody's there. I heard that movie was
I
funny, though. I'm not going to lie.
I heard it was too, but I had zero desire to go see it personally. It would be like if I had a girlfriend and she was like, "Hey, you want to go see Barbie with me?" I'm like, I mean, am I getting laid afterwards? Then yes. But otherwise, I don't think on my own free will I'd be like, "Hey, hon, you want to go see Barbie tonight?" Like,
Hey,
no, come on.
let me ask you a question.
What?
Would you rather go see Barbie with the hottest girl in the world, get laid, and have the best sex of your life, or get a nuke in Call of Duty?
In Warzone
In a
specifically?
war zone. Me and you, a
I
nuke.
don't know. I don't know. That's honestly tough. I think I would still take the sex because at the end of the day I'm human, but like damn, that would be a debate. I would have to sit there and like look at her.
Like a
Look at
110%
the title
sure.
badge,
Me and
like
you
look
just
at
dropped a
her.
fucking nuke.
That nuke is peak, bro. That nuke is peak. Women are mid, so
Most women are mid.
I'm, I'm just kidding. I love women, but
Most women are mid. All right, let's see here. Before we get into today's actual episode, there's one last thing I think we should talk about, and
yeah, hit me.
That's Aaron Rodgers, dude.
Oh my God. Honestly,
Aaron Rodgers, 4 plays, out for the season.
okay. So
Hold
let
on.
me look.
Not to mention the fact he followed Brett Favre's exact path and went to the Jets after he left the Packers. But he got hurt and he's out for the season.
It's it's like spiritual. Like it's like a curse. It's like a god.
Spiritual?
It
You
would
think it's
not
spiritual?
not spiritual. I mean that in a sense of it's too it's too like it was scripted almost. Like it was just
I don't
like
think it was
other
scripted at
forces
all.
were acting on this. Like think about it. The guy he really wanted to go there. He chose to be there, took the pay cut, all that stuff, and actually went there.
Yeah,
And
and he
then
didn't
that's what
play a
happened.
preseason game, and
That's
he went out there and he took 4 snaps, and his Achilles fucking
yeah,
tore. The dude's fucking
did you
39
see
years
that
old, Corey.
did you see that slow-mo like video of like when it happened and you
Yeah, it
could
was bad.
see his
Yeah.
Achilles
Oh
like
yeah,
pop.
that definitely
It's like
happened.
yeah. I don't know. I do feel listen, I do feel bad for Aaron Rodgers. I do. I don't like seeing that. It would have been cool to have seen like, maybe who knows what the team would have done. You assume that they probably would have been at least a playoff contender type team,
Oh,
right?
for sure.
Yeah, so I mean, it would have been cool. I don't hate Aaron Rodgers, but I will be honest, I do not think he's like second to Tom Brady.
Aaron Rodgers is
You know,
definitely top 5 best quarterbacks ever.
no, I didn't say top five, but
Here's my issue.
I'm not the biggest like, oh my God, I love Aaron
Well,
Rodgers. I have
here's
no
my
problem
issue.
with the guy, but
He underwent a new type of surgery that I read that is hopefully he wants to return for an early playoff return. So imagine being Zach Wilson, right?
this year, you mean?
Yes, yes. Imagine being Zach Wilson
Zach
for the
Wilson's got to
Jets.
get him into the playoffs.
Okay, let's just say they go fucking 12 and fucking 5, okay?
No way, but okay.
And Aaron Rodgers comes and takes your spot. Dude, if I was Zach Wilson, I'd ask for a trade.
Well, I
I'd ask for a
probably
trade
would
in a
too.
heartbeat if they did that to me.
I probably would
That
too.
would piss me
I
off.
well isn't that what happened with Carson Wentz his first year with Philadelphia? Isn't that how we got in? Wasn't there a starter and he went in like game 2 or 3 and they went like 12-1 or something and
Yeah,
brought him
wasn't
into
it?
the playoffs?
No, Nick Foles, wasn't it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think you got that
Yeah, you're
mixed.
right.
It
You're
was
right.
Carson
Yeah,
Wentz, and then
reverse.
Nick
It
Foles
went
played in the
down and
Super
Nick.
Bowl.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly,
yeah.
exactly. See, that's what I'm saying though. Is if you're Zach Wilson, even I don't. That would be tough. Let's say you
I
are
would be
Zach
pissed
Wilson.
off, dude.
Let's say
I'd
you're
be
the head
so
coach.
fucking pissed.
Let's say you're the head coach of the Jets or whatnot, and that happens. Let's say they finish the record with what? There's 17 games now. Let's say they go like 13-4, right?
That's what I'm saying.
You have to let Zach Wilson play.
But do you? That's what I'm saying.
You have to. You don't.
I,
You
I, I
don't
don't
pull
see in
that. That
any situation they go 13-4 and they get to the playoffs and Aaron Rodgers somehow magically healthy. They don't start Aaron Rodgers. I guarantee they start Aaron Rodgers and they start throwing
I
Zach
that
Wilson in some weird ass little play packages and it'd be all weird.
I could see that, but I
That's
think that
exactly
would
what
be
would happen.
I think that would be a recipe for losing the game, to be completely honest with you. I really do. I don't think you can kill that kind of. We're talking now, 13-4 type scenario. Let's say they squeak by.
Yeah,
Make the
like a
last wild card
nine
like
and eight
nine and
position.
eight, 10-7. 8-8 type deal. Then I could see, well, you got us there, bud, but we're gonna go with the guy that we know, and put Aaron Rodgers back in. But if you're talking literally 13-4, 14-4 and 3, so on and so forth, to pull that off, you would be shooting yourself in the foot to pull that kind of momentum. You're talking the not the I mean the literal play of the game, because obviously the team must be playing well. Zach Wilson must be playing well if
No, they
that's what they
lost
end up doing.
yesterday.
Well, I know, but it's 1-1. It's still pretty early in the season. So that's what I'm saying. If they go on a 10-game win streak with the dude, and apparently the Jets have a harder schedule from what I've heard comparatively, but I just don't think you can. I don't think in good faith you can, because then if let's say Aaron Rodgers comes back in and he's rusty, hurts himself again, just completely wets the bed in general, and just Let's say it's a blowout. They end up losing 30-10, 30-8, or some shit like that. People are gonna be
That's what I'm saying.
pissed. They're gonna
Washed
be like,
up
"Why would you
Aaron
not?"
Rodgers, and then he goes to the
Yeah,
Vikings. How funny would that be?
just follow Favre, man. Follow Favre. If they really do end up pulling like some crazy, run into the playoffs, I think you have to do like what Philadelphia did with Nick Foles, and you have to just ride it. The dude won a Super Bowl, like
He did.
against the Patriots,
He did.
against Tom Brady and the fucking Patriots. So I don't think you could do it. Honestly, I would say let Aaron let him rest. Now, here's a question. I think I know I'll know your answer, but do you think Aaron Rodgers will be done after this? Let's say
No,
this
no.
new surgery,
Nope.
things like that.
Nope.
Yeah, I expect him to be
I
back
bet
next
Aaron Rodgers
next
got
year,
another 4
no matter
years.
what. I don't know about 4. I guess it really depends on the
I bet he's out
recovery.
4.
I guess it really depends on the recovery of his Achilles. If he really does heal up and is okay, I could see 4. Or if that Achilles injury had never happened, I would agree and say that he's probably going to pull a Tom Brady and go 4 or 5 years till he's like 45, 46, somewhere in
Tom
there.
Brady, I'm pretty sure tore his Achilles, but it was years ago.
I thought wasn't it something with his knee? I thought he did like maybe his ACL. Isn't that
It
your
might have been
knee?
that. It might have been that. Yeah,
Yeah, something
ACL.
like that.
It
But
was years
again, that
ago.
was
I know he was out
yeah,
for
that was
damn near a
like in
whole
like
season.
yeah, that was like '07, maybe '08, '09, somewhere in there. Like he don't, he wasn't 39. You know what I mean? He
True.
wasn't.
True. For sure.
He definitely was not in his late 30s going into what was
He was
considered
probably
before
our age,
Tom
to be
Brady his
honest.
end. Yeah, exactly. Which I mean, we're not too old. We could recover for something like that. Once you start getting into those ages, that 39 is old for the NFL, my guy.
Yeah, it is.
So, I we'll see. I definitely think he's going to at least come back next season and we're gonna see Aaron Rodgers for a full season.
Agreed.
It's just a matter, has
Play
he
for the
recovered
Jets.
enough? I think he'll stay with the Jets at least for next year, for sure. It's just gonna be does he play well? Like who knows? Maybe he comes back and the injury just forever is gonna nag him and he's just not gonna be able to move the same, you
Yeah,
know? It's totally possible.
possible.
He's
For
gonna
sure.
try.
For
I'll
sure.
definitely say he's gonna try, but let's say next year he does terrible and he's just like, I can't do it anymore, and he might have to retire. But he's gonna try. I think he's gonna retry one more year for sure.
The Browns play the Pittsburgh Steelers tonight on Monday Night Football. I have a 4-pick parlay to win some
Browns!
money, and hopefully I win. So wish me luck, everybody.
Drinks are on you.
I mean, honestly, dude, they could be on me if we win. I'd be
You
I'd be
buying the first
400
couple
up off
rounds?
25.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Um,
I'm rooting for you, my friend.
Today's topic, the main focal point of today's episode on the Naked Zebras podcast, episode 2. You want to tell them or shall I?
We're gonna get into the good old restaurant industry.
The
Now,
restaurant industry. Everybody listening, I want you to pretend. Close your eyes. Everybody who's listening to this. I want you to pretend like you just got into your favorite restaurant. You got out of the car. You've parked. You're now walking through the front doors, and you are been greeted by a host. All right? Shrew here and I been working in the restaurant industry for how long?
I started well, and you started in fast food. So if you want
True.
to, do you
True.
now? Okay, let's just clarify this. Do we consider fast food restaurant industry? Would you still consider it qualifying as that or not?
In my line of work, yes, because I'm in the kitchen, and when I was in fast food, I was in the kitchen.
Okay, that's fair to say because
I
so let's
didn't.
say
I wasn't really a drive-through worker. I wasn't really running registers.
you were
I
cooking,
was
yeah,
at a Burger King opening from morning, and then I was there until the kids came in when school ended and stuff at
yeah,
4.
yeah, yeah. I get what you're saying. So if you are including, I'll include that for back of the house and what you do. We've basically been doing about the same.
I
We
was
were
also
what
a bar back at a
20?
strip club too.
Yeah,
I
and
was a
I've
bar
bounced
back at a strip
around to a
club
few.
too.
Yeah, I've bounced around to a few different restaurants at this point in my life too. So I know I've been doing it since I was 20, so it'd be about 8 years, eight and a
If
half
you
years.
include that bar backing, I've been doing it since I was 22.
Yeah, so you've been doing it 6, 7 years. So we've been doing this for quite a while. Is the point? Now, here's the distinction.
Wait,
He,
wait, hold on. That's the same amount of time. What are you talking about? You said 8 years, 8.5. I said if we include that bartending, I've been doing it since I was 22.
yeah, I've been doing it since I was 20.
That
So
I
you,
was 20 when I worked at that strip club.
oh,
That's
well,
what
you
I'm
said since
saying. I was
22. I was
no,
confused because
I
you
was
said
20.
starting at
Burger
22.
King was
That's why I was
20,
like,
20, 21, 22, and then my first real
I got, yeah, yeah,
restaurant
yeah. Okay, okay,
was
okay, okay.
23
Yeah,
up
I got
until
you.
now.
I got you. I got you. So yeah, we've basically been
We've
doing it
been in,
about the same
and
amount of time.
it's
Basically about the same of the time. Now, the difference is I've always been front of the house. You have always been back of the house. Except
correct.
for, I guess, your bar backing technically would be more front of the house type stuff. But, it'd be more like a server assistant or a busser, bar backs, things like that. But for the
Yes.
most part, you have always been back, and I, for certain, have always been front. I have never even, I've been behind the line, yes, but to get stuff, but I've never once even
Server on the
plated a
line.
thing of food. Never even plated
Server on
food.
the line. Fuckers.
Hey man,
He said, "Hey, man."
sometimes we need shit too.
Uh, okay. So in my line of experience, since we already went over the fact that I was a bar back at a strip club, I worked at a Burger King. I've also been a line cook for a restaurant. I have also been an assistant kitchen manager for a restaurant. I have also been a supervisor in the back of the house for a restaurant as well. I have also cleaned restaurants through a contracting company. I've been in so many restaurant kitchens, it would blow your mind. So I will let you know on my end of the spectrum, I know what the hell I am talking about when it comes to the restaurant industry. Would you like to give your credentials?
I mean, you definitely have more I guess supervisor managerial experience, albeit with just back of the house. Front of the house, I've done everything except for hosting specifically. I've hosted in a sense of like as a server, when there's times where we don't have a host or they get cut early or something comes in, sometimes as a server when you're, one, two of you are there, you have to just host, answer the phones. You see people come in, you just go grab them yourself and go seat them. So I've done like that, but no, I have not ever officially like been hired as a host and like stood behind that counter as like a host. Um, I started my career as a server's assistant, which essentially is a busser, going around cleaning up tables, things like that. From there, at that same restaurant that I was a service assistant at, I was able to become a server once they had an opening. You have to take a test, menu knowledge, go through every item, list what they are, have all that stuff. I had to also you have to do like a mock serving of usually it's like the general manager and like the head chef or
You
something
take
like
a
that. You
menu
have to
test
like
at every place you worked at?
I did for everywhere except for one restaurant, which was BJ's. They did not, but I feel like things like that come down to
See, that's one difference.
the
That is
quality of
one difference between front of the house and back of the house is I have never once had to take a menu test in my life. A little bit of technical difficulties, but we are back. What I was getting ready to say about what you were saying, you had menu tests everywhere. I'll make it quick.
yeah.
The first restaurant I ever worked at, I was 23, and my chef had just left, and I had never cooked a steak before, and I was the only one like in there that had like experience. And I've only been working there for like a month or two at this point. And I remember I got like 4 steaks sent back on me. I had no idea what I was doing. Needless to say, now I know how to cook steak. I can cook. Honestly, I could cook decently now. I can cook, but man, those beginning days of my restaurant experience, man, I was thrown to the fucking wolves. Thrown to
Yeah,
the fucking wolves.
yeah, and I understand what you're saying there. It would like I said, it was only one restaurant that I didn't take a menu test, and I think that was more just the standard that that restaurant in particular, that management had. I don't think that I like from a front of the house standpoint, a menu test and stuff. I actually think it's a very important thing to take because it goes to it's showing you're
Oh, for
knowledgeable,
sure.
you're things like that. Like you're committed, you're knowledgeable, you're not just a dumbass who just can come in and like here's the thing, serving is not hard. Now I will also say
Neither is
not
cooking.
not everyone can do it. There are people out there that just cannot do it, and I
That's the
understand
restaurant
that.
industry on both sides. Trust me, both
Yeah,
sides, both sides.
but if you have the ability to do it, it is not hard. But that doesn't make you a good server. That doesn't make you a good cook. Like just because you can come in here and you can pick up a notepad and a pen and go say hi and take someone's order does not mean you know what you're doing. So the quality of the restaurant itself, that's what I mean is why it's important to take a menu. So I think
Do you
that
know what
that
drives me nuts the most about you guys? All right. So let's say we're going to use something simple, okay? Mott sticks.
yeah.
Do you know how annoying it is when somebody brings in something like mott sticks and then it says mott sticks, no cocktail sauce? And then I go, it doesn't even come with cocktail sauce.
Yeah,
Do you know how many times I've seen that in my life?
yeah, and I'm gonna be honest, as a server, there are definitely times where I've done stuff
Oh,
like
I'm
that where
sure
you
you
just
have.
type in, yeah, you just because it's more of a listen. You okay? I'm not gonna lie. You take the menu test and you're supposed to know everything, right?
Yes.
Now, now, it's not that you don't know everything, but the thing is, once you pass that test, for us, it's kind of like out of sight, out of mind. You've got the test taken, you're in, you're good to go. You're not sitting there at every table when they ask you, or I guess not every table. Most people actually generally do look at the menu and they go, "I'll take this." No modifications, or maybe a light something like just put the sauce on the side or something like that. But it's pretty light modifications. So there may be, you'll go a week or something and not really think about it, or it's an item that isn't ordered a lot and you're just not thinking about it. So you kind of, let's say that happens when you're really busy or something, like I'm as a server really busy, not the restaurant per se, because there is a difference between front of house, a server themselves being busy and the restaurant as a whole being busy. There is a difference there. Like one server could be busy, but everyone else be slow. That is a thing. So, if it happens when you're busy and you're just not thinking about it, you just kind of put it on there because we do it as a precaution. I would rather you look at me and be like, "Hey, dumbass, there is none of that anyway." As opposed to me not putting it and it come out with that item and then it be wrong, then you've got to remake it. Now we're both pissed off. I've got to send it back. The customer's pissed. You get what I'm saying? It's more of a precautionary thing where I would rather just be told, "Hey, dummy, it doesn't actually come with it." I'm like, "Okay, whatever, that's fine, my bad." Versus I'm not sure, so I'm just going to let it go because I think it doesn't have it on there and then it comes out with it on there. You get what I mean there? So that's my explanation as a server for doing something like that. But it does happen. I mean, I'm not sitting here thinking every day I go into work like, all right, this burger has this, that, and this item comes with this and that and this. And it's
Hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up. Do you think I go into work and think that every day? No, I know
no,
that.
no, no,
Okay,
no, no, no.
and
I
you got to
wasn't
keep in mind
implying that.
in my experience at this point, it's 1, 2, 3 menus well, I don't really know those menus anymore because I don't work there anymore. But I'm definitely at 3 different menus that I've had to memorize, and the
Hmm.
memorizing process is a period, man. Especially with shit like salads, man. Salads are
Yeah,
always
yeah.
like the
There's a lot of
easiest
things on them.
the easiest thing to like prepare, the easiest station to work salads.
Pantry.
But oh my god, dude, when there's like 8 different salads on a menu and each one of them's getting 6 different things on them, you're
Mm-hmm.
constantly just
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
looking up.
Trust me, again, as a server, I 100% know what you mean because salads, people modify salads quite a
Oh,
bit than normal
modifications
things.
on salads are the
Yeah, salads are
most.
crazy. So it's, yeah, like you're saying, there'll be 8 salads on your menu. Half of them have the same thing. Half
Especially
of them are
because
different,
where
and
I
it's
work now, there is, and what kind of dressing do you want with that? Our salads come with a specific dressing.
ours do too.
We toss our salads with that dressing and we put it in the bowl. There is no on the
Yeah,
side unless
yeah.
they specifically ask for it.
The
So
server puts on the side.
on the
Yes.
salad spectrum of where I work now, it's modification fucking hell down there.
Yes, I believe that. That's how it is for me too. I've worked at both kinds of restaurants. One where it's come standard on it, tossed, and ones where it comes standard on the side, which I can understand from a customer standpoint why they always ask. I get a lot of people to be like, "Is it on it? Can you put it on the side?" Things like that, because you go to any given day, you go to a restaurant, it's going to probably be different. Is it a place that tosses it? Is it a place that doesn't? But modifications are always a thing, and I'm not going to lie. There's part of the laziness of being a server too. Once you
That's funny.
pass that
It's
test
funny
and you're months into it,
you just brought that up because that's what I was about to bring us into is the difference between lazy cooks and lazy servers. It's literally what I was just crossed off. So go ahead. The laziness of being a
I'm just
server.
the laziness of being a server will come into kind of like we were talking with those items that no cocktail sauce and whatnot. Is yes, I know the menu, but when you're standing there talking to a customer and the menu clearly states everything that is on it, and you start asking me dumb fucking things, it's just you get kind of lazy and you're just like, look at the menu, bro. Like, what does it say? You know what I mean? And I guess if we're talking about lazy servers in general, difference between a good server and a bad server, the servers that are there to make money. That as a server, I am there to make money. I'm there to take tables, and that's how I make money. A lazy server would be someone that comes in, only wants to get cut as soon as they get there. They'd say no to taking the party tables when they're asked. They're like, "Hey, do you mind picking up this table?" "No, I'm good with my section." "Nah, do you want to stay on and close tonight?" "No, I want to get out of here." They're lazy. And then there's another part of laziness where a big problem, and this is going to be an eternal problem, I feel like for all of eternity, is just side work. I don't know what specific your side work's obviously different. You probably is more like stocking and prep. Ours is, making sure the line has plates, restocking cups, polishing the glasses, rolling silverware, cleaning up the trash, things like that. People can be very lazy on because there's definitely times where I've been like the expediter on the line and like, pantry, for example, would be like, I need a plate restock. And I'll turn around to get the servers. I'll be like, hey, I need, plates brought up. And half of them will literally go, I'm busy, and they'll run away and go to their table or something like that. And it's like, all right, well, do you not want your fucking salad then? Because I got no plate to put it on, and we're not obviously throwing this on a fucking burger plate. So you know what I mean? Like it's those people that do the things without being asked is what's really good as a server, and what you notice that guy that without being asked, we need a plate restock. He's just going to the back and checking the back of the dish when the plates come out, and just being like, oh look, there's a big stack of plates here that I need to brought out. You come out of the thing and you see a glass rack sitting there. Oh, let me polish that up and put that up. Oh, the tea's almost empty, and I know it's 5:30 on a Friday. We're gonna have more tea drinkers tonight. Why
Listen,
don't I go ahead and brew
listen,
a new
listen,
thing of
listen,
tea?
listen. All right. One, I've never seen servers have to get plates.
And this restaurant that I do, we do. Yeah,
Every place
we
I've ever
stock
worked,
the
it's either
line.
been the dishwashers or us.
No, we stock the
Okay,
line.
here's the difference between like you said, side work. When it comes to lazy cooks, man, I'm more. Okay, so let's use something like I don't know. We'll use wings for example.
Okay.
Your basic restaurants, all the same. You throw wings in a fucking fryer. Well, and they cook. They come out. They put them in a fucking little metal bowl, and they shake them in the sauce,
Yeah.
and they put them
Yeah.
in the. Okay, there is a such thing as presentation, plate presentation, and
Yes.
dude, there are people out there who do not understand what fucking plate presentation is. The
I
amount of
yes, I
people
100% know what
I
you're
have
saying.
literally
100%.
trained. I've multiple people that I've trained, and I'll see them toss it, and they'll just take the bowl and just goosh, and it'll literally be like chicken wing soup, and they
Yes.
think that's fine to put into a heat window, and I'm like,
Yes.
dude, that is the most ugliest looking thing. Listen, I'm no fucking Gordon Ramsay, but I'll tell you what, I'm better than fucking most. Okay, and I
Sure.
personally, I
You care.
like
You care.
I
It,
have a
it,
name
it's not.
on a
It's
menu, everybody.
yeah.
Like my name
And
is on a menu. Okay, it
but
might be
like
stupid shit. It might not be like fucking your flaming crescentillon or something like that, but I damn near fucking do my job fucking right, okay? If you're getting food from me, it looks fucking great and it was fucking right. All right, hold on. I want to keep
yeah.
going about lazy fucking cooks. There's other things
Yeah.
cuz
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
fucking
Go
went
ahead.
off,
Go
okay?
ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Other people I also have a thing with side work too. People wanting to get out, the shit mop, the shit sweep. I've seen people literally do the most half-ass sweeps, the most half-ass mops, just to get their fucking ass out.
Yep.
Cooks who literally want
Yep.
to take smoke breaks every fucking, you know, 10,
20 minutes.
15 minutes, sit out
Yeah.
there, fucking the
Yeah.
Marlboro 100s. Oh my god, like, are you smoking a Marlboro 300 out there? Come the fuck on. Like you've been out there for fucking 20 minutes, dude. Like, we got
Mm-hmm.
tickets.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Then, like, also, I want to give you the same thing you said. There's people who can cook and there's people who are just not meant to cook, okay? Like, some
Yes.
people, like if I'm fucking railed out and in the weeds, I know where the fuck I'm at. There are people who turn around and they're like, I am lost, and they look for somebody to save them. I'm one of those guys, okay, that comes to save. I am so far fucking past I am lost. I just know,
What? Quick question.
yeah.
Have you ever had someone that needs saving and they're rude or refuse to accept that help and makes it worse? Like let's say
Yes.
you're doing your job
Yes.
and you look over at that other station and that person is just fucked.
Yes.
And you go over there and you're like, "Hey, where
No,
are you
people,
at? What can I
some
help?" And they're like, I got it. I
some
got it. I
people
got it.
I used to be like that. Believe it or not, when I first started, I used to be like that.
Terrible quality. Glad you've changed that.
Well, no, I was really good at fryers. This was when I was just fry boy at the first restaurant I worked at, and I was just doing wings, dude. And like on like wing night, dude, like I was so good that like it would piss me off when I started to need help because I would get like it'd be like, God damn it, I need help. I remember one time this guy, he came over, he's like, where you at? I'm like, I'm good. He said, no, Nick, where are you at? I'm here to help you. And I was like, okay. But no, the fuck.
Hey, I'm not saying you. Have you had to deal with that, like someone else doing that to you, saying that you go over
Morally,
as the help?
I've never really had somebody say no, but I've definitely had in many times in my experiences people who are afraid to ask for help and I have to go over because you got to
Okay,
understand
being afraid is a little different than accepting it, though.
most of my places of work in the restaurant industry I am usually like kind of like I get saved by me, especially like a lot. So like
Sure.
usually when I walk over, like it's very intimidating because the person I walk over, they know I'm like better than them. And I hate to be
Okay.
cocky, but like it's true I am. And just I'm usually always just there to bail people out. I mean, I remember it was maybe 2 years ago. One of my chefs at the restaurant before. So I worked at a restaurant that had there was two restaurants in there. I was on the other side. I was working on this restaurant line. Over here on this restaurant's line, they were getting super railed out. And I'm talking like my boss, my chef. I walked over there, dude. I pushed them out the way. They probably had 30, 40 tickets on the rail, dude. I cleared that out. I cleared that whole entire thing out. I was screaming at fucking everybody. Dude, I was a dick at that restaurant. But yeah, I've saved people more on occasion, but I wouldn't call him lazy. I mean, it was just they needed help, Um,
Yes. Because here's an example that I'm thinking at my restaurant. Right, there's this one cook that we have, and she's really just not good. Like,
hey, I don't want to be
like
sexist here. I'm not sexist. I love women, but cooking is a man's game. I'm not saying
I
women
can
can't cook,
understand. Yeah.
but I've been in a lot of restaurants. All right, I've been in a
Now
lot
I've
of kitchens. Cooking is a man's game. It's a young
I
man's
can
game.
understand. I can understand what you're saying because, she is a little bit older, and by older I probably mean like 40s, maybe 50. But and I think a big thing with her, and we can get into this at some point, is just the lifestyle that working in a restaurant. The drinking,
The culture,
smoking, the party, the
the
culture of
culture,
it. Now I'm pretty sure I've never seen
the
her
drugs,
myself, but I have been told that she drinks, gets drunk while she's cooking while she's on the line. So it ends up making so many mistakes. And I'm talking the simplest of things, like example in the morning when we first open, if she's like the opener, like one of the people on the line when we first open at 11, you have to like go tell her, hey, by the way, I'm about to bring in the first table because she's not paying attention. I've had it literally happen before where you go bring in that first table and she's not even at the station for, I shit you not, it was 22 minutes before she even started the thing because she was literally in the back, like not paying attention and things like that. And then she comes up, she makes the item and fucks it up. Like
Awareness.
makes the
Listen,
completely wrong thing.
in the
And
back of
I'm
the
just like,
house, in the back of the house, self awareness is the most important thing to have. Self awareness, confidence, and cockiness are the three most important things you need back there, and then skill. If you have these three, you can fake it by until you get the skill. That's what I did.
sure,
Then you get
sure,
skill. I swear to God. Um,
sure, sure. But it's just
I once worked.
it's tough.
I once
It's
worked with a
tough.
guy who used to love to get so pissed off when a ticket would ring in. There would be literally like no tickets for like 20 minutes and one ticket would ring in. And he'd be like,
Like God, why are they
walk
fucking
around in
ringing?
a
Yeah,
fucking circle like
yeah,
three
yeah,
times. Like,
yeah, yeah,
what do you mean they're ordering food? This is a restaurant?
yeah, yeah,
Are you
yeah.
kidding
See
me? They
that
order food at restaurants?
that's one thing as a front of the house person because believe it or not, we actually have very similar in terms of way it feels in terms of in that specific situation. Trust me, you really think as a server 10 minutes before close, I want to be ringing in more food for you? No.
Personally, I don't really care about that. I am one
S-
person who likes to cook.
Then you're in a minority. You're in a
It's
minority.
what I get
You're in a
paid to do.
minority.
That's what I get
I
paid to do. Like
agreed.
I'm going to be
Agreed. And
working in
that's
a.
what
If I don't get rich and famous, I'm going to be working in a restaurant for the rest of my life.
sure. But you understand that. And like I understand that too, but that's what I'm saying is there's people both front and back of the house that they don't want to. It's laziness. They're like, "Why am I doing this?" And it's like, "Well, that's your job." Now, I will give you as a cook, listen, I'm just going to get into this and say this now. Your guys' job I would never want to do. Straight up.
Some people
I
can
don't
do it,
want
some
to.
people can't.
I couldn't handle it. I don't want to handle it. I wouldn't want to deal with how much bullshit you guys got to deal with back there. I'm not going to sit here and act like, yeah, I bitch and stuff as a server and whatnot, but like, I understand that I have the easy part. I'm not sitting there busting my ass for 10, 12 hours a day if you're working a double shift with constant food coming in. Like as a server, yeah, I take the orders, I do my things and whatnot, but there's downtime in between that for the most part. I mean, if you're slammed back to back, busy, yeah, you're going to be moving and doing stuff. But I also understand if I have two tables, once I get their food rung in and they have their entrees, there's really not much I have to do for maybe 20, 30 minutes while they're eating. You know what I mean? Versus the back of the house, they get a ticket out. Oh, here's another one. Here's another one. More food. You guys are constantly,
That's what I
constantly
love
going.
about it, dude. I
Constantly.
love that, dude. Literally, it's like a drug to me. So like let's say a Friday night, dude, from fucking 5 p.m. to fucking 9 p.m., dude. There's people who think they like working in restaurants and they hate that whole entire time of their life. Dude, I fucking was born for that. I love that shit so much. When there is more than fucking 15 tickets on my rail for 4 hours, and I'm telling you, when it's over and it's done, it's unlike anything you'd ever experience in your life. I want to switch to a little topic on your end of the bargain, and that
Wait, can I say one thing real quick?
yeah,
Because I forgot. Because we kind of got sidetracked on a tangent. I know it's been a few minutes, but I also want to clarify because I never went over my exact what all I've done. I haven't done hosting, but I have also been a bartender for a few years, and I was bar packing. So I have a lot of that front of the house from bar to serving to bussing to helping as host. But I just wanted to get my credentials out there because we did get sidetracked on
speaking of
that,
him being a
especially the
bartender,
bartending.
he
Bartending and serving is a very different game right there.
he one time made me a Moscow Mule. I go into his bar.
Moscow Mule. No, it was like a mint one or something, and you didn't like mint.
I go to the bar or the restaurant he's working at. He's bartending. I asked for a Bloody Mary, and I like Bloody Marys. He's like, you want a Bloody Mary? That's it. It's just this house mix. Blah, blah, blah. Let me make you a real drink. Dude makes me this fucking drink. It was ass. It was the worst drink I ever had in my life.
He didn't
It
also
was
happen to tell me that he doesn't like mint, and the
it was
drink had mint in it. So
the
that's a
worst
that's a
drink I ever had in my life.
that's just an unfortunate you didn't like something that of course that drink had.
I want to talk about something.
All right.
You know how many times I've seen servers take dirty plates, throw them into a trash can, and not wash their hands?
Oh, it probably happens all the time. Yeah.
You know how many times I have to wash my hands? I'm not even
I'm not.
joking. I'm not even joking.
I'm not
Do
gonna
you
lie
know
and
how
say that.
many waitresses and waiters I have seen
Yeah,
in my fucking life take it the food you just ate,
we all do it.
throw it in a trash can,
We all do it.
turn around and walk away?
We all
If
do
I
it.
did
No,
that, I'd
no,
be fucking
I will.
scrutinized.
I will.
Scrutinized.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie. That's just the difference between front and the back of the house. Now, I understand general. If obviously
Front
if you
of the
get
house versus
crap,
back of the house.
if you get crud on your hands and whatnot, yeah, you're gonna go wash it off. But like for example, our at my restaurant right now, our burgers and stuff, they're like a metal plate, and we put like a piece of paper, like a wax paper liner on them.
We just
When I
stopped
take
doing
that,
that.
when I take it to the dish, I just throw that line paper, pull that line paper off over the trash and then put the dish into dish and you go back out. You're not, like, listen to people out there that might hear this or whatnot. This may sound unsanitary, but I promise you, everywhere anyone, they all do it.
Oh,
No
it's
one is going
everywhere.
to
It's
stop.
everywhere.
No one is going to
It's
stop
everywhere.
and wash their hands
I
after
do.
every single plate that
Well,
gets
not
brought
every
back.
single plate. We have to wear gloves.
Exactly.
We're always constantly wearing gloves.
Exactly. Now, again, if I go back there
There's
and I clear the
definitely
plate
there's
and
exceptions.
sauce
Don't
and
get me
shit
wrong.
falls on my hands, I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna wash my hands. I'm gonna go to the
There's been
bathroom. I'm gonna
times.
wash my
Don't get
hands.
me wrong. I'm
But
not saying you guys are like clearly in the wrong. There have been many times, bro, where like shit's just so fucking hectic. Sometimes you gotta
it
grab a
flips.
strawberry with your fucking hand. All right,
Yeah,
all
exactly.
right, and I'm
Yes,
cutting it
yes,
and I put
yes,
it on a
yes.
salad. All right,
Here's
an
an
egg.
example from.
Like
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
it
yeah, for
happens,
sure.
dude.
For sure. Well, we do that as a bartender. All that fruit and stuff that we use to garnish drinks, to do all that stuff,
Oh, I
we're
know.
just grabbing that shit. No one is going to
I
sit
mean, if
there
you just wash
and
your hands, it's clean as hell. If you just
use
wash your hands,
tongs
it's
every
clean as hell.
time.
Trust me, if you just wash your hands, it's sanitary as fuck. You can do that. Like if you just
Yeah,
wash your hands and grab the lemon and put it in a drink, ain't nothing gonna happen. But I
for sure. But
understand what
that's
you're
what I'm
saying.
saying is I'm not, let's
I
say
just
I
wanted to point
haven't
that
washed
out.
my hands in a few minutes. I'm not going to, and I need to go grab a drink and throw a lime on it. I'm not going to go wash my hands to come grab one lime and put it on the drink. It just doesn't happen. At worst, you're gonna grab the little spear and you'll poke it and put it in there. But it's just there's little things that we all know, we all do, even guests, like we all see it. You go to any restaurant as a customer and whatnot, you can look around and you're like, no one is going to be doing what the health department says 100% of the time, all the time. It's unreasonable. Like let's just call it as it is.
People are
It's
gonna never go
it's
to a
not
restaurant again
going
after
to
they listen to
happen.
us. We're gonna
No,
walk.
no, because we all know it. It's one of those things that we just all know it. Like,
We
it,
know it. Me and you know it.
and that's what we're doing.
Which
We're
matter
putting
of
it out
fact,
there so
which
you
matter
all
of
know it.
fact,
So
which takes
you
me
all
to
know it
some,
now.
which takes me to our next thing. People who have never worked in a restaurant, and I'm talking about the people who bitch and bitch and bitch and bitch and bitch when they have no idea what the fuck's going on back there.
Or even in the front. People that have never worked in the restaurant, they're terrible customers to take care of for a
Oh,
lot of the
bro,
times
I've
too.
been to restaurants with people who just treat people like shit in a restaurant.
That's what I'm saying. They treat they
I
they
like,
treat us like fucking shit, tip us
and
like
I'm like,
shit.
calm the fuck down, dude.
Yeah.
Like I remember one time I ordered a steak and the kitchen cooked it so abysmal, and I sent it
Mhm.
back, and the waitress, she was just sorry, 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 and I'm like, dude, it's not your fault. I know it's not your fault. I'm not gonna bitch at you about this.
We're
Trust me. Like
traumatized. That's why we say sorry so much because you understand it, but so many people don't
this steak
understand
I
that.
ordered, it literally, like, okay, so I ordered a medium rare. The top side was cooked and the bottom side was cooked, but the cook didn't fail to realize that the steak was folded. So it opened up, and the whole entire this spot, which was actually the top and the bottom, was just completely
Yeah.
raw.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. But that's what I'm saying is that people don't understand that, and that's the trauma as a server because
Well,
when they send something back, a lot of time
here's
most people are actually okay, but those people that are assholes about it are fucking
no,
assholes,
I want to
dude.
tell you a story.
Assholes.
I want to tell you a story. So literally, this happened to me 2 days ago. This happened to
Okay.
me, or I guess it would be 3, Friday and Saturday. Friday and Saturday. Listen to this. So there's a thing in the restaurant, just like every other place. You got your morning shifts and your night shifts. All right. I don't know. I'm a night shift guy. I'm a dinner guy. I'm a closer. I close. I prefer closing. I prefer the dinner shifts. I'm not really a big fan of the whole prep and leave. I
Sure.
don't know what the hell they were doing. I'm not going to put any names. I'm not going to blame anybody. We
Sure.
have this pasta on our menu, okay? It's like fucking 8:30 p.m. on Friday, dude. And we fucking ran out of fucking penne.
Oof.
Yeah, and like four
I I
four of those
I
pastas were rang in after that. And
I get it. We've ran out of
and
shit like
you got to
lettuce
understand,
before
listen.
on like a Friday rush.
Hold on.
Like who didn't prep this shit?
Hold on. No. Listen, so back people who've never worked in a restaurant, they're sitting there and they're bitching like, "Oh my god, why is it taking so long?" First, you got to realize like it was morning shift's job to make sure we have all that. Okay?
Yeah.
Now that it is fucking 8:30 p.m. and nobody from the morning is there, no server from the morning is there except maybe one person who's probably a double, maybe
Yeah.
one cook who's probably a double who may
Yeah.
know what the hell's going on.
Yeah.
Like that is not our problem. Like we have been getting railed out for the past 3 hours, and now we just realize we're out of penne. And it happened again the next night. It happened on Saturday too. And I remember, dude, we had 5 of those pastas rang in right as we realized we rang out. I had to go grab a fucking big ass pot. I had to wait for this fucking water to boil. I had to throw all this fucking. It was like fucking that check had to have been 45 minutes, dude.
I believe
It,
it.
it
I
like
believe it. When you run, trust
I
me,
know it got comped
we
too. I
know as
know
a
they comped it. That whole check was
yeah,
probably
like
comped.
we in front of the house, we know when that shit happens and stuff. So to give you an example of how we understand that,
We ran out of ranch too on Friday. We ran out of
I've had that
penne.
happen.
We ran
I've
out
had
of
that.
ranch. Listen, I had a buffet. Dude,
I've had that
we
happen.
ran out of chicken we needed for the buffet. So I had to run and prep those really quick. I had to prep 24 of those. They come around the corner. Nick, we're out of bacon. I had to run and grab bacon. I didn't even get bacon in. Dude, I was so fucking busy because they come around the corner. We're out of ranch. I'm fucking throwing ranch together. Fucking dude, it was a shit show, but the server who was taking care of the party assured me it wasn't as much as a shit show as it was. It was just me being
You know what that
really,
means?
really stressed in a moment. I was
No,
really
you know what
fucking
that means
stressed.
is she was talking to the table, and the table was actually
It
nice
was a
people.
he.
They're like, "Oh, it's
It was a
fine."
he, actually.
Yeah, he was talking to the table, and they were probably actually like fine. You know what I mean? Because that does happen. I will say there are really nice people out there that you go up. That's the thing, as a
Those are
server.
people who probably have worked in restaurants.
Yeah, well, it also depends on the server. Because like here,
Yes, I'll give you that. Yeah, because you are
like
the middleman.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it depends. Like let's say that happens, right? As a server, if I know for let's say it's been 15 minutes on their ticket already, and then I find out, oh, we're out of this and they got to go prep it. It's going to take at least another 15, 20 minutes before it's going to be ready, right? So we're talking a 30, 35-minute check at this point, right?
Yeah.
But I know after maybe 10, 15 minutes. As a server, you need to just go to the table and explain it to them. Like, go up to them and be like, "Hey guys, I know I'm sorry it's taken a little while. We just got to prep some more stuff, so it is going to be a little bit. I apologize about the wait. I will have my manager come talk to you guys and see if there's anything they can do to make your experience more enjoyable while you wait. I apologize." Most people, I will say, again, most people are actually pretty okay. It's that minority that is really vocal and really really rude. But most people, you explain that to them, they go, "Oh, okay, yeah, we understand. Thanks. Can I get another drink while I wait?" You know what I mean? Like that's where I have to be a good server. And instead of, the lazy servers like we were talking about, they would just be like, "Oh, well, it's going to take 30 minutes." And they're going to hover at the line in the expo, and they're going to be looking and being like, "Hey, where's this? Is this ready yet? Is this ready yet?" And meanwhile, their table, they haven't checked on in 15 to 20 minutes, has no drinks. They have no refills. They have dirty fucking app plates still sitting there, and they're just sitting there with their thumb at their ass, no idea. You know what I mean? You got to be a good server. You got to sometimes communicate. Sometimes going up to them and being like, "Hey guys, I just forgot to ring in your goddamn entree. I apologize. I'm a little busy right now. I have it working on the fly. My manager will bring it out in 5 minutes for you. Most people will understand that. It's when you ignore them and you let them sit there wondering where they get when people get really pissy.
You know what drives me nuts?
Hmm.
I forgot to ring this one in.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
When I'm
It
like
happens. It happens.
seven checks, can we push this to the front? I
Yeah.
rang
I need
everything
that
in
on the
but this
fly.
one appetizer.
Yep, I need that on the fly. It happens,
That
man.
shit
It
drives me
happens
nuts.
because
That
as a
shit
server,
drives me
that's
nuts.
the thing. Serving, like I said, it's easy, but you have to be able to
Or I
multitask and
forgot to
keep
ring in this
things in your
table.
head. Yeah, it happens, man. Sometimes you have so many little things that
It's
you
like,
have to do
maybe you shouldn't be
that it
taking
just
so many tables.
no. I mean, no, I disagree with that. That's not
See,
mistakes
that's where the
happen.
difference comes from the front and the
Mistakes
back.
happen.
Well, you got to
Mistakes
understand,
happen.
okay? You got to understand, you're one person. Us in the back are looking at all 6 or 7 of you.
Yeah,
Like,
I
yeah,
know, but that's
it's a tale of two sides there because like I know there's 6 or 7 of you, and I know each one of you have 3 or 4 tables. Maybe one of you has a big section. Many of you are on parties. Like
yeah.
if you can't handle that big section, maybe you shouldn't be in that big section.
Well, I would agree in general that yes, if you can't handle 4, 5, 6 tables, no, you shouldn't be having a big section. But at the same time, we shouldn't all be punished for a simple mistake. You know what I mean? Like if like I'm a good server. I'm not. I've
I'm
been
not
doing this
saying you're
long
not a
enough.
good server.
I can take care of 6, 7, 8,
I
nine,
bet you
ten
could.
tables at once.
I
I
bet you
really
could.
can.
I
So,
believe you can too.
but that's the thing is okay, let's say I have 7 tables because it's, an hour before close. We're cut to just me and one other closer, and we get that late night push, and it's just 6, 7 tables. Sometimes those little things slip, and I should not be punished and make less money because I forgot this one item that one
Those
time.
late
Now,
night
I
tables happens a lot
understand
where I work at right now.
what.
Those late night tables happen a lot where I'm working at right now. Like that last hour, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
That last hour, they've
it
already
happens.
cut down the closers, and there's 2 of us
Yeah,
too.
yeah, and it happens. It happens. But that's the thing
I
is
have that happen a lot,
you guys
honestly.
make mistakes too.
Oh, I've
Not
made mistakes. Don't get me wrong.
like people make mistakes. It happens. So you just got to kind of you shrug it off
I
and
once
you
set a
you,
hot dog
you
out
get
without a
over it.
toothpick in it.
Oops.
Yeah, I sent a fried hot dog out. We had this big ass fried hot dog, and we put long toothpicks in it. Okay, and we were out of long toothpicks, so you had to batter the hot dog, the fry it. So I put small toothpicks in it. I completely forgot the small toothpicks were in it, and I remember the waitress came back up and she was like, "This guy's really pissed. He wants to know why there's toothpicks in his hot dog." And I was like,
Fuck.
"Fuck."
Yeah. Exactly. Like
Fuck.
shit
I
happens.
felt like a
Shit just
fucking idiot, dude.
happens.
That shit still haunts me to this day because I don't really tend to make mistakes like that, but mistakes happen. I've made mistakes too. Trust me.
They do. They do. They do. So you got to kind of just roll with it and you move on, you know. But it's
I've dropped cases of wings on the ground. I've dropped bags of fucking
I've
raw
dropped whole
chicken and fucking
I've
batter
broken whole
before.
bottles of wine and
I
things like that. It shit happens.
dude,
Shit
let me
fucking
tell you something.
happens.
So I'm changing the fryers. This is probably about 5 years ago, 3 years ago. I can't remember. I was changing the fryers, and I used to roll the fryers out. Like we have 2 big pots of hot ass steaming oil. We
Yeah,
used to
I know what you're
roll them
talking
out on
about.
a cart. Well, I did. I remember one time I was rolling out on a cart, and I hit this bump, and it splashed, and the fucking oil splashed my chest, and it was so fucking hot
Ooh.
that I
Ooh.
jumped back, and the cart just started rolling on its own, tipped over, both
Oh
whole
no.
ass fucking pots of oil
Oh
all over the
no.
fucking parking lot, dude. The parking lot
Oh
was white as
no.
snow for a whole year. Dude,
Damn.
for like a whole year, dude,
Damn.
my chefs would walk up to me, the owner of the restaurant, be like, "Nikki, why don't you just go fucking throw the oil out in the fucking parking lot tonight instead of filtering it?" And I'd just be like, "Fuck you guys, all right, fuck you." Ever since that day, though,
That's funny.
I've never rolled oil in a
That's
cart.
funny.
I pick that shit up and I walk it.
Yeah, carry it. I get it.
Yeah,
That's
I
funny.
haven't done that shit since.
Damn. That's a brutal one. That's a brutal one for sure. But I don't know, just thinking I'm thinking about like customers and the way I interact with them. Like I said, most people are actually quite understanding and nice, right? Most people, as long as you got a personality and you're not like a lazy, just annoying piece of shit kind of server, bartender, things like that, most people are actually pretty nice. Now there are those people out there though that are really rude. Like they don't. Example, you see a table get sat, you go greet them. You're like, "Hey guys, how are you doing tonight?" And they just go, "I'll take a fucking Coke." They don't say fucking, but I'll just take a Coke. And it's just like, all right, so we're starting off on this foot. I can't even give it not even a hi, how are you?
Like, why
Or
did you even come out tonight?
yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah, just order takeout if you don't want to talk to anyone or you don't, you walk up to a table. I'm not asking you to start talking to me and tell me your life story, but if I say, "Hey, how we doing tonight, guys?" All I need is a good thanks. You don't even have to ask me how my day's doing. Just acknowledge that you've heard that you've been taken care of. You know what I mean? And same with like people on their phones. They'll be sitting there on their phones while or and stuff, and it's just like I'm gonna go fuck myself over in the corner then while you guys just do whatever you want. You know, I'm not here trying because that's the thing. Here's what'll happen is they'll be on their phones or something, and as a server, you walk by the table and you see they're on their phone, and it's just like, okay, I'm gonna wait a minute, and I'm gonna, come back over, and then you come back over once they're off their phone, and they're like, we've been ready for 5 minutes. And it's like, okay, well, and had I come over to you while you're on your phone, you would have rudely been like, hey, hold on one second. Hold on, like, we're busy, we're busy. But then when they're ready, you have to be ready for them. But it's like, hey, I've still got other stuff to deal with as well. Like, what is this shit? It's crazy.
I a long time ago when I first started working in a restaurant, I once got a $5 tip for a burger.
Yeah, I've had
That
people
was
go around and tip
the
the kitchen
only
before.
tip I've ever had as a cook. Uh,
I've had it happen
and I
before.
got a story about it. I got a $5 tip, and I had no idea why I got a $5 tip. And I remember they were like, "This guy wants to talk to you." And I walk out there, and he was like, "Did you cook this burger?" And I said, "Yeah." He was like, "My daughter here." It was like a little 5-year-old girl. It's like she asked for another one. That's why I tipped you. And I was like, "What?" He was like, "It's the first time she's ever eaten anything, and she asked me, 'Can I have another one?'" And
Nice.
I could tell this guy was severely intoxicated. And I'm
Okay.
like, "Okay." And he's like, "You don't get it." Like, he went off. Like, "You don't get it. She asked me for another burger." And I'm like, literally thinking in my head, "Do you ever think maybe she's just still hungry?" like like I didn't really give a shit. I didn't want to talk to the guy. I had to fucking close. But that is the only tip I ever got, and I'll never forget it because he made such a big deal to tell me that girl, that
Okay,
was the
here's
first time
that.
that girl ever asked for more food in her life.
So I'm curious. That made me think. There's definitely times where, as a server, you serve them food and you check on them, like, hey, how's everything going over here? Everything good and whatnot. And people will be like, hey, this burger or whatever it is, this is really good. Compliments to the chef and
I've gotten
whatnot.
compliments, don't get me
Well,
wrong,
yeah,
but
yeah.
money, I've only been given money once, and that was the time.
Yeah. To be honest with you, I usually 9 times out of 10, I don't even tell the chef that. Like
I've gotten that gist for a while, trust me. I figured that out a couple years ago.
it's not that we
Because I
don't
used
want
to
you to
ask.
know or anything, but it's just like,
I used to go up to you guys. I'd be like, "Hey, Shrew, how was that steak?" They'd be like, "It was good." And I'm like, "Are you lying to me?" They'd be like, "No, he liked it. Like, he liked it. He ate the whole plate." I used to get really, really like when I first started cooking steaks, dude. It used to freak me out. I would be so
I
scared.
kind of remember that you always
Oh,
kind of
dude,
asking
there was a
how
there was a
is it,
time I
things like
for
that, compliments, things like that.
there was a time I forgot how to cook steaks.
Yeah,
Yeah, like I knew how to cook
like you
steaks.
overthought it, like you were
And then there was a
overthinking it.
day I walked in and somebody ordered a steak, and I was looking at the steak and I was like, "What happened? I what just happened? Did I forget?" I had to relearn. That definitely happened to me. And of course, to every charbroiler and grill, you did every grill's different. It's got its hot spots. It's got its cold spots. The way you cook
Sure,
steaks in restaurants, it's just it's all different.
sure.
There was something you wanted to bring up, which this is a question, I guess, for our little
Mm.
little audience. If you're listening to this, or if you're brand
We
new,
appreciate you. We appreciate you.
uh, this is a question for you guys. Which would you prefer, a 3% surcharge on everything, or the whole entire menu to be raised $2 to $3?
Okay, so you want to get it. So okay. Let me preface. The restaurant I'm working at, it's currently 2023, so the economy isn't doing too well. Obviously, inflation, things like that. Now, I'm sure everyone that will hear this out there, they understand that and whatnot. So I guess there's two options that our company was facing. We were looking at, do you continue to raise the prices of everything on the menu, all your food, everything? Like, here's an example: a fucking Coke is 3.25. I remember when I first started as a server 8 years ago; those were like a buck 50, if that, maybe a buck 99 or something. I know in the past like 2 years alone, just getting a soft drink at a restaurant has gone up like a buck 50 at least. Like, it just goes up. So our company decided to go the route of adding a 3% surcharge to all checks. Doesn't matter, credit card, cash. You come in, you order something, alcohol, food, anything, take out all of it. There's a 3% surcharge that the company is charging. Now, that money is obviously just going directly to the company. So we're getting a lot of people that, they're irritated by it. And I understand it, because when I think about it, it's like, okay, if you're a customer and you go into a place, and let's say you're a regular at this place, so you notice that the prices have gone up. It's kind of like, okay, I guess the prices are go up. I pay it, whatever. The problem with this surcharge, even though it's cheaper, I will tell you, on average, if you were to go in for a dinner of however many, it's cheaper. It doesn't matter. The 3% is probably cheaper than if we raised every menu item a couple of bucks. Because you're going to cut a couple of things, or maybe an entree, and that entree is going to be a couple bucks more than it was before, versus the 3% of the total bill. That's only $3 every $100, you know? So it's really not too much. Would you rather pay, say, let's say you get an app and two entrees, and across the app and two entrees, the price increase was like $8 across that all, right? So you're paying $8 more. Let's say you get that same stuff, but we're just charging you the surcharge. It's only a buck 70 something more. So that buck 70 is going directly into the pocket of the owners, yes, versus the prices. So the thing is, as a customer, and I understand this, it comes off like you're being nickel and dimed. It comes off like big greedy corporate guy is looking at the plebs going, give us more money because we need it from you just because. You know what I mean? Versus when you roll it into the menu, at least that way the customer kind of goes, it's more expensive, but everywhere's more expensive. They can kind of justify it that way in their heads. Like, yeah, I'm spending more, but everywhere is. I can I go to the grocery store and I buy items, and that stuff is more expensive. So it makes sense. I can equate how, prices are being raised. But when you do it this way, the surcharge, it's just very, like I said, it comes off nickel and dimey. It comes off grimy and slimy, like a company's just trying to take advantage of you. And I know we're losing some business over that. We definitely have had some regulars, say, hey, really liked you guys, but I'm not going to be coming back. I don't support that business practice and whatnot. And another thing that's happening too is people are taking that out of the tip, which really is what hurts as a server. I really could give a two shits
Okay,
about what's
so
being
with
charged.
something with that too is I think another thing that's hurting your guys' tips is the fact that every place in America is asking for tips now. Like no
Yes, I
matter
do
where you
agree with
go,
that.
like tipping
Fast
culture,
food,
tipping
Subway, yeah,
tipping
everything,
culture has
everything.
become
It's being abused.
such
It's
a
being abused.
normalized thing everywhere when in reality it should be only for people like you and
Yes,
or like
and like taxi drivers, like those.
strippers.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
But tipping culture like I
That's
went
why
and
I'm saying
saw
it's
The
being
Offspring
abused.
a month ago and every single place I go to get a anywhere tip. You go to Subway, ask for a tip. I don't get tipped for doing the same damn thing a Subway's worker is doing, and I'm
Yeah.
actually cooking my
Yeah.
food.
Yes.
All
Yes. I
right.
agree. I agree.
I've
Which
never tipped at Subway, by the way.
neither have I. Now, here's the thing. I hate that, because here's what it's gonna do for someone that, my living, it relies on tips. That's how I make my money. I only make, like, I think it's $5.15 an hour. When you factor in taxes, when servers say they do not get a paycheck, we are not exaggerating. My paychecks are literally like $5 to $10 is what's left after taxes come out. So literally, like, my money is dependent on tips. And with all these places doing it, I have two kind of thoughts. One, I think it is absolute bullshit that companies and corporations are trying to force What the way it seems to me is they're subsidizing having to pay employees better wages on the hopes that your average customer is going to compensate that difference in tip, right? So I think that's bullshit for companies to do that. Especially, I understand little mom and pop things, your little local bakery or whatnot. Like they don't have all the money in the world. But let's face it, where we're at in this country, you're either a massive fucking company essentially, or you're very small time and it really doesn't affect you either way. So you got these big companies, Subway, for example. Why in the ever living fuck should Subway be asking for a tip to pay their employees when
Especially when
Subway
they
makes what?
probably, especially,
Billions of dollars a year?
especially when their employees, I
Billions?
guarantee their employees make like $15 an hour too.
Yeah, I find it bullshit that you're telling me a multi-million, maybe even I don't know if
I
Subway is,
bet
but
Subway hires
multi-billion
in
dollar
at 14 an hour plus tips. But I doubt they make that many tips in a day anyway.
I doubt they
I'm
even
sure there's
factor in
that
the tip.
one nice old man who throws a 20 in there once a fucking week. And they probably split that between all of them. Or,
Yeah,
somebody might pocket that change at the end of the night. I don't know. I've never worked at a Subway. I don't really
but
care.
here's my second point. My second point is that's going to start diluting the genuine tipped professions. So the taxi drivers, the servers, the
Well, I
strippers are
understand
always
why
going to
that
be on
3
it.
cent
But
that
it's
that
gonna
3% surcharge really fucks you guys over.
it
So
it,
so
it
everything should be raised $2 to $3. I understand what you're saying. That made sense.
Yeah, but it's with all these little like the subways and all these places asking for tips, the more places that you go and tip places people, it dilutes the value of the tip. So let's say we get to a point in this culture where yeah, it's the norm to tip your fast food people. It's the norm to tip essentially everything. Well, instead of the standard at a restaurant being 20%, people are going to start bumping that down to 10% because they're going to be like, well, I'm going to give 10% to you. I'm going to give 10% to you. I'm going to give 10% to you. You know what I mean? It's not going to be the standard. Like, I see it diluting the value of a tip because people are going to start having to spend money on tips elsewhere and people are going to get annoyed with the tipping culture. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that completely won't be the case and people are going to always be able, the standard's going to
Well,
always
I
be
mean, like,
20%.
I don't
But
think anybody would really care if like our economy like shot up and rose like super super high. You know what I mean? Like if we just all
well,
were doing
well,
well for ourselves,
well, yeah,
I
if we're
don't
all
think
well for
anybody would
ourselves,
really
then
give
no
a
one
shit.
matters. But
But like
it's
me
not
and
headed in
you, we
that
don't have
direction.
kids. We're not married. Like
Yeah,
we're just two fucking single men who really only give a shit about ourselves. So
thank God.
money really isn't like
Thank
we
fucking
are
God.
not in that realm of the world. Um,
Thank fucking God.
it brings it to a point, and I won't go off on a really long haul of it because, like you did say, tips are the way you make the money, and I get a
I'm
check.
not
I get a
exaggerating
check
that. Like,
all the time, or not
I do
all the time,
not.
but I get a check. Like my shit comes through, but sometimes I do think it is a little bullshit that you guys make a little bit more than us, just because I'm cooking food for
But
all the
it's tipped.
tables. I get that it is tips. It comes from the customer or the guest. Uh, I'm not gonna go into too much of that. I have money. I just
That's
um
the point of being a server is trying to make as much as you can off of those tips.
I think it's pretty safe to say though that me and you are part of the culture of what we would call the restaurant industry. You
Oh
went
God,
off for a second, dude. There
fucking
was a moment
culture,
there.
man.
There was a
It's
moment
rough.
there. I was
It's
like, man, am
rough.
I ever gonna get to say anything? I'm pretty sure we covered everything besides like stupid shit health inspectors and just I don't really want to get
That
into
last
that.
minute scramble when the
Yeah,
health
just
inspector's coming in, like shit,
uh,
label it, label it. Is everything labeled? Got to put that in the back. That's not supposed to be up here.
dude,
Put
the
that in the
best part.
cooler.
Listen.
Do we have tongs for the lemons?
My experience with health inspectors, it's always thank God he's at the bar now.
Yeah. Well,
Thank God he's at the bar now.
yeah.
He's done back
It's the
here.
same. It's the
He's at
same
the
for us.
bar.
Thank God they're in the kitchen right now. We can fucking put some
Right.
label on the
Right. It's like
fucking
gotta go
the lemons
everywhere.
or yeah,
Everywhere.
because it's the little shit. It'll be like that's why I keep saying lemons. It like the lemons that we use for water. Those are sitting there. We cut fresh lemons every day. It's not like we store those or whatnot. But by health inspection standards, those have to have a day dot on it and a shelf life on it and things like that. But since you cut them every day and we get a whole new one every day, you don't we just don't. You just don't. Those are those little things that if you work in the industry, you just don't. But then again, the health inspectors come in and you're like, shit, I gotta that's gotta have a date on it, otherwise they're gonna ding you for it or whatnot. Which I want to clarify. I want to clarify. At least the restaurant I'm at now, we have zero violations. We just had a health inspector come in literally about last month, and we got zero violations.
Can
So we're
I
not unsanitary or
ask you a
anything like
question?
that. But
What's the most
yeah,
disgusting thing you've ever seen in the restaurants you've worked at?
like in terms of like a health code violation
Like
type thing.
anything. Like what is the most disgusting thing you've seen in a building that is considered a restaurant?
Um, I don't know. I'm trying to think. I've definitely seen things like the bussers, and I've seen a couple kitchen people before, like not washing their hands coming out of bathrooms,
Ew.
or like
Ew.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah, things like that.
hold on. No matter where you are in America, it is fucking gross to not wash your hands after you use the restroom.
I agree. I
It
agree.
is fucking gross.
I agree. I agree. I've seen stuff like
Ew.
I've seen people like put raw chicken above product, like like
I've seen
the
that
the
too.
the
Trust me.
salads, shit like that.
Trust
I
me. I've
haven't
seen
seen
that
anything.
too.
I've definitely seen people like touching their hair, things like that. But I'm gonna say in general that I don't have like this one specific like, oh my God, I watched this cook like fucking with his bare hands go finger blast some girl in the back and then go fucking prep chicken. You know what I mean? Like I'm not without washing his hands. Like I
Bro, you
haven't
on
seen anything.
fire today. You're cracking me up, man.
I haven't seen anything crazy like that.
Okay.
But
I gotta tell you mine, dude.
little things. But thankfully I've been
I
in
had a
pretty
second
decent
job.
stuff.
I cleaned restaurants. I've been in a lot of restaurants. This goes back into how we started this, whether you consider fast food a restaurant or not. But I once cleaned at this Raising Cane's. I forget where it was, but their back door had a hole in it, like this big. Okay, like underneath the door. Like the door came down, and the
Like a
bottom of the
gap.
door had a gap. I remember back when I used
Okay.
to smoke cigarettes. I go outside. I'm smoking a cigarette. These three little motherfucking raccoons in triangular formation are just hopping down the back parking lot to this Raising Cane's. I'm like, oh shit. I ran inside and I literally like went up to the manager girl. I'm like, yo, you got three raccoons like running here. You know there's a big gap in your door, right? She's like, oh yeah. There's a cat too that likes to wander around. His name's blah blah. And I'm like, what the fuck?
That's crazy.
Dude,
That's
I
crazy.
was mind blown. I've been in some fucking Longhorns too. I
That's
smell
crazy.
like complete shit where I've moved fucking equipment out and there are things underneath equipment that you wish you would never
You
fucking
ever found like a
see.
dead mouse,
A dead
cockroach,
mouse?
anything like that?
Oh, I've seen plenty of bugs. I've seen plenty of bugs.
Sure.
Mouse? No, I don't think I've actually ever seen a
I worked at a
mouse.
restaurant where we had a mouse. We found a dead one and then we found a live one. Like, but we did catch it and whatnot. But I have been in a place. I guess if you want to consider that, I just thought of that since I was
I
talking about you were talking about animals. I have found a mouse before
I
in a
cleaned a
restaurant.
I cleaned a Taco Bell. I may have shown you the
That was
video.
a that was an old restaurant, by the way. I don't currently work there.
I cleaned a Taco Bell one time. I think this was last year. I have a video on my phone. I don't know if I ever showed it to you, but the whole entire back, dude, there were spiders everywhere. There was a spider infestation. Like,
Yeah.
dude, I have a video on my phone where like I'm literally showing all the spiders by the back door. There's like at least 30.
I feel like I do remember you showing me this
Yeah,
at
I
some
used to
point.
take a picture of every spider I
That
saw
does,
because I
yeah,
would
that
encounter
does look
spiders
familiar.
all the fucking time in the middle of the night.
Well, you see that honestly, spiders in particular, spiders and fruit flies. Now,
Oh,
neither one
fruit
of them are
flies, that's a
good, but
problem in every
yeah, but
restaurant I've ever seen,
that's what I'm saying is there are
especially
those
around
little things that you're
onions.
gonna. And for us, it's the front of the house. There's at the bar where there's a lot of like
Oh, I
juices
bet. I
and
bet.
fruits and stuff like
It
that.
gets
They
sticky.
love sticky. Yeah, they love like those guns, the like soda guns.
Yeah.
They get up in there because it's sticky and sugary up in there. They get in those, they'll fly around, the fruits and stuff like that. But that's what I'm saying is stuff like that is it's impossible. It's impossible to truly completely 100% like get rid of something like that. So it is what it is. But overall, I haven't witnessed anything too crazy, at least, thank God. So
So at the end of this, I mean, we didn't really do it back of the house versus front of the house. We more like showed a little bit of similarities and difference in something that we really give a shit about. But I honestly put us at like a 50-50 experiences we've gone through. You know, lazy cooks, lazy servers,
We both go through our
you
same. That's
know,
the thing.
just
That's
like
the
the
thing.
health
We're all
inspectors, you
under at the end of the
know,
day. At the
running
end of the
out of
day,
shit, the way you look at us, the way we look at you. It's definitely a 50-50.
yeah. At the end of the day, we all work under one house.
That is the
You get
truth.
what I'm saying. So
That
like,
is the truth.
good employees under one restaurant, yes, there are going to be that time on a Friday, Saturday night. It's 7:30, balls to the walls. You're going to get pissy with each other. You know, that one server forgot to bring something in, or you guys run out of fucking ramekins and we don't have any, and we're going to get pissy. But once it's over, we all kind of go about our days and we're like, hey, we go get a beer after work. You know what I mean? It's at the end of the day,
And
we're
in
good.
case you're
We're
ever
good.
wondering why we're all alcoholics, is because our job is so fucking stressful.
Stressful, and it's also the time. I think I've always kind of thought of it as a big time thing. You know, the hours that we are working, especially night shift. You know, you're going in at 4, you're getting done 9, 10, 11 o'clock, depending on the day, and it's like, well, I just got off of work. It's 10:30. What do you guys want to do? What is there to do? Let's
Go
go
to a
drink.
bar.
Cool.
Yeah, let's go
Like,
fucking
you know,
drink.
it's just
Talk about the
it's
shit. Talk about all the fuckers we just saw drink today.
yeah, the server's gonna bitch about that stupid fucking 15 top or that 2 top of motherfuckers that were annoying and didn't tip you. The kitchen's gonna bitch about how they got this ticket and then something else came in and I had to make that on the fly and this guy did that. It's just part of the culture. That's what we do. So at the end of the day,
We love the
I
restaurant industry.
personally,
I personally love it. I don't
I
know if
was
you'll
just
be in
about
it
to say,
forever, but
I
I
personally
personally love it.
I was just gonna say, personally, I do enjoy it. I
Speaking
do
of
enjoy my
which,
time. I enjoy the sociability of it. I enjoy the
did
money.
did you know a new season of Hell's Kitchen, not Hell's Kitchen, Kitchen Nightmares is coming out?
You know, I feel like a few months ago, I
Kitchen
remember hearing about
Nightmares.
that. Yeah, that'd
I'm
be cool.
excited for that, dude.
I
Dude,
love
Kitchen
Ramsey.
Nightmares
The
is
Kitchen
awesome.
Nightmares is a good one,
Brand new Kitchen Nightmares,
right?
dude.
Kitchen
I'm
Nightmares would be
so
cool to watch.
I might literally get a free trial Hulu like as soon as the season's done for
Yeah,
it, and then just
and then just
binge
binge
it,
it.
and then just
Yeah,
cancel it just so that way I
yeah,
can watch
sure,
Kitchen
sure,
Nightmares because I've
sure,
seen every
sure.
episode of Kitchen Nightmares except this season that's coming out. I got a note on my phone. Look at this,
That's funny.
so I
Yeah,
don't
I
forget
Kitchen
because I want
Nightmares
to
is
watch
good.
it. It says
When's it come out?
there's a new season of Kitchen Nightmares on a sticky note.
When's it come out? Do you know? Do we know yet?
I
Like,
saw a
have they
commercial
announced that,
for
or
it.
is it like still just being recorded?
New Kitchen Nightmares. It's the first thing that popped up on Google.
Nice, nice. Because Kitchen Nightmares was good. I always really
September
enjoyed
25th, 2023. 8 p.m.
September.
Eastern on Fox. That's
What
in a
is that
few
like?
days.
That's like 2 weeks.
Yep.
25th. You said that's a
Kitchen
week from today. A
Nightmares.
week from today. A
Yep.
week from today. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Hell
Excited for
yeah.
that.
Hell yeah. That's good shit. I'm cool with that. That's good shit. For sure.
But I think we have reached our time limit here. The Browns play soon, and trust me, I'm not missing that.
Yeah. We're Browns fans out here, so
Uh,
pray for us.
if you watch, hey, I got a 4-pick parlay on this game. We better win. Oh shit! Technical difficulties, my friend.
You just fucked your webcam up. What you just do? Where'd you go? There he is.
Uh,
Hey, yo, he's back. Chub, chub,
Chub,
chub,
chub,
chub,
chub,
chub,
chub.
chub.
Thank you for watching. This
MVP.
was the second episode of the Naked Zebras. We're still trying to figure out what we're gonna do for next week's episode. Bear with us. I know this one was a little bit choppy. We had a couple technical difficulties here and there, but we're not perfect. So
We're in the beginning, so stick with us. We appreciate you sticking with us. We'll do our best to, edit and do what we can to make it as good quality as we can. And you stick around with us from the beginning, we will remember that. We will forever appreciate that. And the quality will only continue to get better along with the conversations, all of the above. We're excited to continue going into this, hitting the ground running.
yeah, and we will see you next week, and hopefully you guys tune in. And my name's Nick.
Sea Dog and the Naked Zebras. That's the
Sea
two of
Dog.
us.
Sea Dog. Is that your
Sea
name?
Dog. Sea Dog. Corey.
All right. I hope you guys have an excellent time. We'll see you next week.